Hey, it's Big Game James Liccardi, and we're back here right now. We're at West Fargo High today to continue our preseason preview of high school football with head coach Jay Gibson. How are you doing, Coach? How great does it feel to be back on the field?
Hey, it's always great. Any day you're playing football is a good day at West Fargo. So, weather's been good. We have, we had a real successful season last year, and I've in my years of experience, you get a few extra guys out. We had about 48 last year. We're up to 76. So, there's a little learning curve for the coaches. We're back to having multiple groups going, and it's really been fun.
And that's kind of what I've seen the little bit I've been here, splitting off some of the linemen, the special teams, the specials guys. It seems like, you're only a week into practice, but these guys are working their tails off. It looks like they're a little motivated to get back to that state tournament.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, we graduated an awful lot of seniors, and if you ask me numbers, I can't remember, but there's a whole bunch of guys that are gone. And so when that happens, the people that were behind them last year get excited because it's their time. They get to step up and be the player. And then there'll be some sophomores that become juniors that surprise you. They put on 20 pounds. It's like, where did that come from? Looks good, they're in shape. And so there's a lot of competition. And last year we were going to throw the ball to Carson. Everyone knew it, and they still couldn't cover him. And we had Parker he set school record for rushing, so he was awfully good running back. And those two guys, you can't replace them, but you put someone in the position, and the team has to take on a new personality is what we're trying to figure out.
And when you're looking at that, too, you see some of those guys, like you said, Carson, who's now at NDSU. You have a guy like Parker, who ended up being the AA Player of the Year in North Dakota, kind of surprising some people. How motivated are these guys? And with the beauty of football, you have that turnover every year. What does it look like when those guys become juniors into seniors and sophomores into juniors? How motivated are they to be that next Carson Hagerly, to be that next Parker Nelson or Peyton Jancy at West Fargo High?
Yeah, and one of the things that we strive for is we want you to be you, and you need to figure out. Everyone has good attributes. Mm-hmm. Some people, like Carson, have all good attributes. He was amazing. He really was. But you have to figure out what are your good attributes. How do those attributes help you become a better football player? And then how does that fit into the team scheme? So we won't do some of the things that we did last year. But you see the excitement for guys that get to take leadership roles. And a leadership role doesn't have to be I'm yelling at a sophomore. In fact, I strongly frown on that. It borders bullying. It's not a good thing. But to see the excitement and then to tell the sophomore, you lined up on the inside receiver and you were supposed to be on the outside. Just something simple like correcting them. And I've just seen a whole bunch of that. So it's kind of nice as a coach to find out that I got a staff of 8 guys, but there's probably 30 guys out here that are doing coaching. And as long as it's the correct thing and they're trying to get the team better, it's really a cool thing.
And when you're looking at this season and seeing some of these new guys come in and some of the other guys leaving, are there a couple of guys that you've seen so far the past week, first full week or so of practice, that you go, hey, I think that they surprised me already in practice. They might be surprising some people when the lights are shining bright here on a Friday night in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, we had 7 quarterbacks last year, and I took Max Fowl and Leighton Hoffland and said, you guys are going to be running backs. They're both good runners. They both can throw the football. So a halfback pass is in case you're wondering. So we moved them to running back, and so they're in the learning phase mode to become good running backs, but they really look good. I mentioned before, a guy comes 20 pounds. Leighton is 20 pounds heavier than he was last year, and that's why that you start. I saw him run in the JV games, but he's running from the quarterback position, and he definitely could be a pretty good tailback. We got a lot of the linemen back, so we don't have to explain as deeply with the first group on how to run a trap play. And we don't have to rep it as much. And so therefore we actually 2 years ago didn't have enough linemen to go 2 teams of offense, and we're up to, I think it was 24 offensive linemen when we were doing drills. I count every day, see how many are gone. We're up to 24, and so we have multiple teams going, and that has made it more fun also.
Hey, that's awesome, and especially to see the linemen get out there. Because that's a fun job that a lot of credit doesn't go to at times, I think. But when it comes to practice over the last handful of years, more regulations, things of that sorts, maybe you can't wear pads certain days, and there's just more specific things to keep the kids safe. How has practice changed for you over the last handful of years, making sure you can put the best product on the field, but keep these young men having fun and still safe at the same time?
Yeah, well, we go 3 non-contact days, so you do drills and you run them. They got to get in shape somehow, and you can't do it in 3 days, but you sure can try. And so the first 3 days, you don't do any. You talk about schemes, or you put someone holding a pad and you double team a pad, which you're not hitting a body. And then after that, you can go live, and we don't do much live. Gagliardi from St. John's is famous for never hitting. That's what they said, never hitting. Well, they hit in practice, but that was their mantra. That's what they were known for, and I kind of like it. You need to get your speed up. You need to get to where you're supposed to go. You need to learn how to do that. And so we, like I said, there's not a person that's made a tackle yet, and we're in our 6th day of practice. We got a scrimmage next week. We'll go tackle someone else. So it takes us a while to get going, but the COVID stuff is gone. We don't have to spray pads anymore. We don't have to make the kids keep the pads in their trunk. It was a nightmare. So and we actually have a locker room, and the kids can go in a locker room now. So, most of that has been taken care of, and I think it's kind of back to normal, back to usual.
Hey, you know what? That's I'm sure that they're happy about that, kind of being able to get into a little bit of a routine as well. And the last thing I have for you, Coach, is, what makes it a successful season for West Fargo High football?
Okay, so ask me that 20 years ago, and of course we would want to be competing in every game. We want to make ourselves, we got some pretty good players. We want them to be successful. We want the guys that maybe aren't as good to learn to get better and to contribute, so that the team as a whole, there is no better example than last year's team. You would have said, well, okay, West Fargo's probably a 500 team, and you were 1 game away from winning the state championship. We got there. It was really it's really amazing year. So will that happen, and do you have to do that to be successful? No, you need to compete. You need to have people. What I like to do is see them come together as a group. So you start pulling for your friends, and maybe you pull for a guy that's really not your close friend. He's on your team, so he becomes a teammate. And to me, that's success when Coach Palczewski's got them doing up downs. I noticed that here a little while ago, because they're kind of lost their focus. So get your focus back and just have fun. It's a great opportunity for guys. They get a chance to go out and play, and there's not many chances you get to be a boy. Boys like to push each other around and wrestle around a little bit, and you can't do that in the halls of school, or you're suspended. But out here you can do that, so it's pretty cool.
Hey, that's awesome. Coach, thanks for a few minutes of your time today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck to you and the Packers moving forward, and we got a couple of games that we're going to be covering this year. I can't wait for them.
Good, yeah, thank you very much too.
I'm Big Game James McCarty. Have a great rest of your day.